Hello, hello, and welcome, my Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your chakra check for March and into, including all of April 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons Mel for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and Leo rising. So very, very happy to be doing this spread because, I get to see what's coming up in my energy field as well as we go. If you are new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, and at the end of this comment, if you have any insight into this spread, what it might mean for you personally or collectively in the comment section, because I do like pieces of information, right? I am Virgo Sun, but the Leo rising allows me to do this with a little fun, a little style, a little flair. Cool, cool. So let's get down to business. This is a general read. Of course, as always, take what resonates, leave what does not, although it might resonate later in time. For now, take what resonates, leave what does not, and do check your other signs. That's why I always do Sun, Moon, Rising, adding Venus signs to this, and you'll see why in the first three positions of the chakra spread. Other than that, just focus on your breath as we go. We're not just doing 7 positions in a row. We're actually using an 8-position chakra spread based on the work of Carolyn Mace in her book, Anatomy of the Spirit. So we're including the 8th chakra over the head, also known as the star center, and the upper room, and the soul center, and the home of the higher self. It's been called so many different things. But I consider it to be the chakra of mystical power, not just spiritual power, right? Truly involving the divine. So let's dig in. You follow your breath, I'll follow mine. The more we're breathing, the more we're in the present moment, the more we'll be able to catch on my end the intuitive guidance and grace for all of us, but on your end so you can really feel what resonates and what doesn't. Cool. We're going to start with the Healing with the Angels Oracle by Doreen Virtue. All the decks that I read are in the description box below. We're only using 4 of them. I'll call them out as we go. Cool. Here we go. Nice deep breath. My angels, please, top 8 cards. Chakra check spread for the Leo collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What's going on in their energy field? Our energy field, I guess I should say, since I am Leo rising. From the root to the star, right? From the 1st chakra to the 8th. Please, top 8 cards for the Leo collective. Chakra spread March to April 2020, into April, a whole month of April, right? And we are good. I'm just going to do the same with our second deck. The Daughters of the Moon Tarot, which I usually use for just the voices of the Divine Feminine, the goddesses. This will be for both gods and goddesses, because if I were to bring in the Mythic Tarot, that would be another 8 cards. This would be a very, very long reading. We're only doing 18 cards total in this spread, right? So let's do this. Please breathe. My gods and goddesses, please, top 8 cards for the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, hey now, Venus signs. What's going on in their energy fields? The chakras from the root to the star, from the 1st to the 8th for March, April 2020. What's going on for this Leo collective, please? In their chakra systems, March to April 2020, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for the Leo collective. Thank you, my gods and goddesses, sacred. And here we go. Maiden, Mother, Crown. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Good. We're all set. We're just going to do those 2, and I'm going to add 2 more cards at the end from 2 separate decks to just get you some clarifiers, right? So where I'm going to be laying down the first 3 positions here, the root, the sacrum, the solar plexus chakra. These 3 make up the literal level of power, the physical world. The lower 3 chakras help you navigate your way through the 3rd dimension. So let's see what you got going on in your root chakra. Tribal power, physical power, connecting you to the Earth's magnetic field. All right. Well, here we've got the Two of Blades, right? Analysis, going back and forth in the mind. People often want to say that this is a card of indecision, and to me, decision is element of fire. That's like the Two of Wands or the Two of Flames in this deck. Here with the Two of Blades, it is that strategizing, going back and forth like two fencers. That's what we see here. Two women, swordplay, right? So not just looking at one perspective, trying to see things from the other perspective, and sort of jumping ahead into the future, that back and forth of analysis. Remember, analysis is about gathering information, not necessarily coming to a conclusion. That can come later on in the deck. And with that comes the card of the Guardian Angel. So it'll be very interesting to see what shows up in the last position here with the 8th chakra, because the Guardian Angel for me is the higher self, the multidimensional, fifth dimensional, and above selves, if you will, for each of us. So in terms of physical power, the Leos really feel like in their root that they're trying to stay safe, stay protected, try to stay in alignment with their own instinct, right? Their own tribal power. The sacred truth of the root chakra is all is one. And while that is very true spiritually, literally you can take it down scientifically into the subatomic particle, the E that equals mc squared. We're all made of the same stuff, that we are all manifestations of one quantum field. But with this card of analysis, it might be really gathering information, trying to see how the higher self, the guardian angel, sees our way through this very tricky time that we are going through, right? To guard oneself, but also to manifest one's higher principles into physical form. And I'm seeing that. I am seeing that here and there on the news, but I'm also seeing not just the best of us, the worst of us play out as well. And so it would be in a time like this. So for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, their relationship to humanity, the human tribe, tribal power, not just your genetic family or your racial consciousness and your gender preference, your affiliation to political parties and stuff like that. I'm really feeling this is about dealing with all humanity and what's going on physically on the planet right now, how to navigate that from the higher principles. Something Matt Kahn said in, one of his recordings, if I had everything to win and nothing to lose, how would I act? What would I choose, right? Now, it's hard to think that way considering what's going on the planet right now, but to kind of feel that that really is the point of view of the higher self, that the higher self, the guardian angel, we are like a manifestation of it, right? When we're at our highest and our best, feeling that unconditional love, joy, bliss, it's like the higher self is fully embodied in the physicality. So how to walk that way, but yet with this sort of back and forth in the mind, trying to analyze, well, is it safe to do this? Is it safe to do that? While the guardian angel might very well be giving you impulses and guidance, right? Guidance and grace, a guardian saying, yes, while you're contemplating this, let's put you in the safest possible environment where you can still manifest, think, and act in physical form from your highest principles, right? And certainly that must be an ongoing thing for all of us in terms of, well, do I go food shopping or not, right? It's like, well, how much do I have to go get? Can it wait another day? And what am I going to wear when I'm going out? Not just for fashion, but for protection. There's a lot of that. So really do know in your analysis back and forth, your strategies to get through this time, really work with your higher self. Now, you can call to your guardian angel if you like. The higher self will play whatever role you like, will take on whatever name you like, but to know that there are higher principles at work in your life all the way down into the root, into the physical body and physical manifestation, because all is one, including you with your higher self, right? That you are a manifestation of it, just as the tip of the ray of sunlight hits the top of the peak of a wave and a little droplet of light is created. So we are the physical personality and manifestation of that higher power we truly are. The true self, the higher self, the divine self, the Christ self, the Buddha self, call it what you want, right? So that's your tribal relationships, your physical power. What's going on in your second chakra, your sacrum, your one-on-one umbilical relationships, if you will, your relationship to another person, specifically maybe different people, but we're looking at individual relationships one-on-one. Could be a relationship to money, to sexuality, to creativity. The second chakra dynamics are vast, but this should clarify what power in particular is being used in your relational power. Now, do you get the relationship part of why I included Venus? Yeah. Well, here we go. We've got the Six of Cups. Compassion. Compassion for another. And hopefully the giving and exchanging of compassion and equal balance. Sixes are about balance and harmony with another, with trust. So my sense is that there is at least one other person, right, that you know, that you can trust, that you can confess to, that you have that equality emotionally. So while the mind is sort of going back and forth, perhaps analyzing its own spiritual principles walking in the world, there is at least one person, although in this card it's manifested as a bit of a group. There are 6 of them there on the beach, helping each other heal, right? Giving compassion. This is really compassion shared, a two-way street. Now, if you are a counselor, as I am a spiritual counselor, you might be pouring out a lot of your cup to other people. Lord knows I am. I'm burning out quick. If you've been following me for a while, if you've been my subscriber for a while, you might notice that my number of videos per day has dropped. Part of that is because of internet traffic. Everything is slow to upload right now. It's just how it is. Serenity prayer, right? But the other is I have certainly been giving my time to people who are sort of freaking out and being compassionate, right? And giving them the best that I have. And, you know, them paying me in return. There is an equal exchange of that. I do get paid for what I do. I am a professional, which means I get paid for it. But for you, this does feel symbiotic. This does feel like if it's a family member, you may be isolated with another person or maybe your family, but that there's really this one person, even if you're completely isolated, living alone, that you have this exchange of compassion with an emotional balance and harmony, a safe emotional place to share together through some form of communication, social media, cell phone, texting, email, what have you. And I really like that. That's a very, very powerful dynamic to have in a time like this, someone that you can trust, that you could be emotional with. We know Leos, right? The carotid artery is pretty much the symbol of Leo, right? It's that little thingy, right? It's like a sperm dancing sideways. So there is something of the heart here, that compassion of give and take there, like the waves, giving and, you know, going back and forth like that. But to know ultimately compassion is the understanding that everybody is doing the best that they can at any given time. We all get possessed by fear and pain, and we all do things we regret as a result afterwards. But if we can really be forgiving and understand that we are in an unprecedented time for at least our generations, right? I'm Generation X. We've never seen anything like this. Even I don't think the baby boomers have seen anything like this. So keeping in mind that you have someone there that you can trust compassionately, perhaps to have your emotional breakdowns while you're being, you know, strong and proud for everybody else. Tricky, but lovely. Yeah. Honor one another, right? You've got the sacred truth of the root is all is one. The sacred truth of the second chakra is honor one another. And I do feel a healthy exchange there, second chakra to second chakra, in that umbilical one-on-one, that you're honoring one another where you are, giving yourselves each other space with compassion. Very lovely. Solar plexus, personal power, your relationship to yourself. Honor thyself, the sacred truth of the solar plexus. Let's see what's going on there for you, shall we? Excellent. Four of Pentacles, security with meditation. Now, meditation can also mean contemplation. And though this is a Four of Pentacles, usually talking about a physical stability, a physical security, this might be about you really meditating in order to find your center of yourself, your own self-estimation, your own self-worth, your security versus insecurity, right? Here we have 4 women, right, with urns, jugs, vases, whatever you want to call them, going to a well, right, getting water to bring back to their family, a well that hopefully never runs dry. So in terms of your own security, remember to go within. Whether it's sitting in silence, or visualization or hypnosis, or you're listening to an audio, or whatever your meditative practice is. It could also be meditation in terms of contemplating your own sense of security, trusting that the solar plexus in particular will guide you personally to that which you need to be secure. Now, I will say that with this guardian angel in the root chakra, that it is there as well. With this here, I would say tune in here, and you'll be able to tap more into the guidance and grace of the higher self, the guardian angel, in terms of your analysis of what to do, where to go, and all of that. And certainly that one-on-one relationship there, giving you the emotional outlet, that exchange of compassion, sort of lubricating the process, right? Someone to bounce things off of in a non-judgmental space. But really, to have security in your solar plexus there is really lovely. The grace of understanding is also in that solar plexus. So it's like understanding yourself, contemplating that, yeah, it's okay to be a little stressed out. It's okay to be a lot stressed out, but we'll get through this. I'll get through this. Like choosing the language of the solar plexus to be one that is very understanding and forgiving of yourself, but in a more meditative, contemplative mode, considering, we can't just be running out and doing everything that we want to be doing. We are going more yin than yang, considering what's happening on the planet. So there is your physical world, your literal level of power. Now we move into the next four: the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown. The personal level of power, the world behind your eyes, if you will. Your psychological world, the personal, mental, emotional world. Let's see what's going on in the heart chakra, emotional power. Okay, this makes sense now with this solar plexus energy of security and meditation. And it's interesting, this card of blessings came up in the Virgo position for the heart as well. Now, I am a Virgo with a Leo rising, so I will take that to heart, if you will. But with that comes the Five of Cups. Definitely a card of emotional change, perhaps turbulent, the storm in this deck. But that storm's pass. Know that the emotions that are rising up in your heart chakra now, they are purifying. They are on their way up and out, clearing your energy fields, clearing your cell tissues. So, for example, let's say you've been, here, I'll use a word from my tribe, my family, suck it up, kid. Like maybe you've been like for years and years, if not decades, really like, no, being strong, being brave, being a Leo, right? Really just do not your heart on your sleeve, but like intense and fierce and strong and protective and, a shining light for everybody else to sort of dance around, because the sun is the shining light, all the planets orbit around it. Leo ruled by the sun, but that it is okay. There is blessings if you are having emotional release. You're detoxing. And certainly we can be grieving our loss of freedom right now while we hunker down and save our lives and the lives of other people by staying home. Leos in particular like to be active, right? Usually have that creative good fortune. They want to go out and do things. They want to create things. They have passion, right? I love Leos. Being a Leo rising myself, I have Mars conjunct. But I also have that Virgo sun and Pisces moon that says, we're fine at home, right? This is my Leo rising stuff here, doing this stuff on YouTube from my home with my cats, otherwise living alone, right? So it's okay. Remember, it's okay for you to have emotions. It's okay for you to be afraid. It's okay for you to mourn the things that you're missing out from. Look, I just learned the term FOMO, fear of missing out. Oof, that's got to be high on the planet. But if you are a divine feminine, right, an energy sensitive, an empath, a first waver, or whatever you want to call that, you might very well be purging for the planet as well, like purging for the people who don't know how to deal with that. If you're any kind of sort of energy healer, all of our chakras are being put to work as though we have been planning for this our whole lives, if not for several lifetimes, right? So what is the sacred truth of the heart chakra? Love is divine power, and what else is a blessing, but divine power, right? The blessing of love. So to love what rises, to love yourself through the emotional storms, because storms change this fast, and fives are number of change. So the Five of Cups, we often think of it as such a horrible thing, but what if it's clearing the skies and clearing your energy field? That it's not the emotions that need to be healed. The emotions are the sign that there is a deeper healing taking place. Yeah? Pretty neat. Love is divine power. Inner child work, can't recommend it enough. It's what I'm doing. I usually have my emotional movements, it's a nice way of saying it, in the morning when I first wake up before I get fully, oriented into my day. I'll give myself the good cry or the good scream or whatever needs to come up. Usually it's triggered by prayer. Sometimes in prayer I connect with the divine, the love of the divine so strongly that it triggers tears. And sometimes tears of joy, sometimes tears of divine love, but definitely purifying anything else that comes out along with it. Yeah. Neat stuff. Remember, a good cry does some things for you physiologically and biologically as well, releasing pressure, allowing the nervous system to sort of discharge stuff in a healthy way. Just don't act on it, right? Just don't let those emotions run the show. Just like you don't let a child run berserk. You love that child of the heart. Let that divine power of love move through you and help you navigate through the storm in the world behind your eyes, right? Neat. Let's look at throat chakra, willpower, choices, decisions, right? Will you or won't you? What are your last will and testament are your final choices and decisions. So think willpower, right? The sacred truth, surrender your will to the divine. We're all sort of learning that right now, come hell or high water, right? We are certainly learning that there are things beyond our control. So let's see what we're doing here. Well, don't you just have the Five of Pentacles, the earthquake, right on the heels of that Five of Cups? So certainly, with self-acceptance. So look, there's change happening very rapidly. Your choices are changing. Yeah, perhaps truncated, limited to an extent. An earthquake only lasts, 10, 15 seconds? Really, a 20-second earthquake is a really big deal. They're really long, depending on where it is on the Richter scale. Aftershocks and whatnot not included. So there is a shakeup. Obviously, all of our worlds are all a little shook right now. But remember, you have the willpower to choose what you will accept and what you don't. You got here the card of self-acceptance. So to counsel yourself, say, well, let's go into prayer. Let's go into meditation, since we can reflex with this card of self-acceptance back to the personal power of the solar plexus, where you're contemplating security. You could really talk to yourself, say, honey, it's okay to be shook. Everyone's shook right now. Everyone has been shaken up. There is a physical change already well underway in this world, and we will find our way through it. To counsel yourself. Now, what's interesting there, the grace of the third chakra is the grace of counsel. Now, that's not in Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Mace. That's in Defying Gravity, one of her other books. It's what introduced me to the graces, along with her work, Entering the Castle, which is based upon the Interior Castle by St. Teresa of Avila. Truly a mystical, wonderful thing. But with that self-acceptance of earthquake, it's okay. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be shook by all of this, to be overwhelmed. But breathe through it. Counsel yourself through it, right? Because your heart may well be at storm. It will pass. Bless your heart. Love your heart. But to me, the words of self-acceptance, radical self-acceptance, is it's okay. It's okay. Like when a child falls and skins its knee and it feels like it's the end of the world, and you pick up the child and go, it's okay, honey, you can cry. I know it hurts. I love you. It's okay. It's okay. Giving yourself more of that space. But understand, a lot of people don't choose that. A lot of people by default are like, nope, push it down. Like repress for success. It doesn't work. It doesn't. I don't know that it ever did, but it's certainly not working now. But nor is it necessary to run screaming out into the night, right? Being possessed by that kind of pain. This might be your best way through. Now, certainly reach out to mental health professionals if you really feel like you're using it. I am a spiritual counselor, not a psychological counselor. If I'm psychologically counseling somebody, I'm in malpractice. No, thank you. I know my nickname is Mal, but let's not go there. Archangel Lyons, Mal for short. No, I was raised by a lawyer. I know exactly what I can and can't get away with. But if you were my spiritual counseling client, I would talk you through some gentle inner child work, teaching you how to self-soothe. A lot of us were never taught that, and yet if there's someone we care about who's upset, we do it automatically. We counsel them. Advice is of the mind alone, right? Well, you know what you should do? No, but you're going to tell me anyway, right? Counsel comes from the heart and the soul. It's like, I love you. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So that self-acceptance, really considering you've got that Four of Pentacles security in the position of the solar plexus, like I said, with meditation, is a really neat connection there between the throat and the solar. Cool? Surrender your will to the divine, and then you'll be shown what to do, right? I surrendered my will to the divine so many times I no longer have options. I'm just like, you show me. Well, I gave my life to the gods back in 2001. For sure. 2001, 2002. I said, all right, I'm yours. Take me. Use me however you want. And here I am. I'm still here. Third eye. Everybody loves the third eye. But the third eye can see only one of two things at any given time. Truth or illusion. Hence the sacred truth of the third eye. Seek only truth. 3 words that if you really integrate that thought and that principle and that truth will change your life. You will see things differently. But remember, some people would rather die than change the way they think. So says the Course in Miracles. I agree. What's going on in the third eye for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign? We've got our first court card here. Capricorn, the Crown of Pentacles, Buffalo Woman. The slow and steady wins the race. The card of the creative earth, the card of the mountain, right? Slow and steady wins the race. Not even a goat runs up a mountain, right? A mountain goat that lives on it still has the wisdom to take it slow and steady going up and down that mountain. So with that comes the card of signs, that though you may be getting signs and synchronicities everywhere, slow down, seek only truth. Because right now there is such a cacophony of information about what's going on the planet that it's easy to get overwhelmed. In other words, the third eye can get cloudy with all this data and information, which is really what the third eye does. Unlike the grace of knowledge, the sacred grace of the third eye, which is exactly that, sacred knowledge, holy knowledge, the truth that the only way out is through, that every prayer is heard, every prayer is answered, maybe not in the time or in the way we want it to be, but that we do have access to mystical and spiritual truth. What you release returns to you. To give and receive are one in truth. That's also from Course in Miracles, right? What is your meditative practice, considering we've got this card of meditation with security? You know, meditation mostly has to do with the mind, even if it's like Tai Chi or yoga. If you're using that as a meditative form, it's still to calm, to relax the mind. And, I'm a great appreciator of the work of Matt Kahn. And was it this last one he did? He did a YouTube video he put out when all this stuff was going on this past week, called Thy Will Be Done, which I know for a lot of my pagan friends were a little irked by the Lord's Prayer reference, but prayer is prayer for me. I don't care. Prayer is prayer, and I don't care. But he said meditation is sitting in silence waiting for God to come for you. Now, not like, come for me, God, but you know what I mean? And just sitting there, and if God doesn't come, you're not experiencing that, just stay a little bit longer. Now, that's kind of what I'm feeling here. It's like, slow it down the mind. Yes, you might be getting signs and synchronicities left, right, and center. Look, the god that sits in the throne of Leo for me is Apollo. We think of him as the god of the sun, the god of healing, and the god of the arts, but he's also the god of prophecy, right? How the sun shines light and clarity on everything. So you might be getting all sorts of visions and stuff like that. Slow down. This is more long-term stuff. Think Saturn, right? That rules Capricorn, that cardinal earth of not just slow and steady wins the race, but let's do this in a safe, boundaried way. Let's do this in a practical way, in a clear way, in a knowledgeable way. Not just to take every sign and synchronicity as gospel truth and change your life like that. Not that Leos will do that automatically. I know some air signs that might do that. Maybe even some water signs that I know of might do that. That there's no need to be impulsive with what's going on here, at least in terms of the mind. Take your time, slow it down, but know that you are being given guidance and grace through synchronicities. Particularly when you're thinking a word and then you hear the word on TV at the same time, it's like, happens to me a lot, particularly songs on the radio and stuff like that. I'll be like, okay, all right, at least it's telling me I'm in the right place in the right time. But with that Capricorn card there, though you may see nothing but challenge and uphill ahead, you are being guided. And remember, don't take that too personally, right? And that personal power there. That your security is in you. Your security is within. The answers lie within. It's so cliche, but I think these spiritual cliches are absolutely essential for where we are in the human trajectory. It's a nice way of saying that. Thank you, my gods. Cool. So seek only truth, mental power of the third eye, Capricorn with signs, slow and steady wins the race. Keep your boundaries, keep it grounded, keep it sane. As we now go up to the Crown Chakra, spiritual power. Live in present time. Sort of like be here now, but it's not just be here now for now. It's live in present time. Be here now consistently, right? Which with that card of meditation there, and I get it, you're shook. You're absolutely shook, but that self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is a great way to come into the present moment because you can just say, it's okay, I am where I am right now, and there's a lesson I'm learning here, and I don't know what it is, and I don't need to know. Let me slow this down. The signs are coming, right? Oh, lovely. Okay, so in the Crown Chakra, we have the Gemini card. Now, with any of the court cards in these spread, because they're in your energy field, they're probably more about your own astrological dynamics, whether or not you have any planets in these signs. But certainly they can be inspired or triggered by people with these particular Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars. Who cares what signs are people who are acting like I don't want to say the stereotypes, I'll say the archetypes of the zodiac. So here you have the Gemini. Gemini is the twins, obviously, but here this is Hina, H-I-N-A, the maiden of blades, mutable air, sort of like a butterfly, right? She got wings going from like a one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Mutable air, movable thought, changeable thought. Now keep in mind, we've got 2 5s in a row here, a number of change. So it can be that there's some inspiration coming in about freedom. Now, we're all feeling our freedom truncated physically, obviously. We just can't go do what we want right now. Not only is it not safe, it's not safe for others, but there is this thing about your spiritual freedom, about the freedom for you to not just reconsider your spirituality, but to think about it in a different way, to experience it mentally, to look at it from other ways, to perhaps go eclectic. Now, the third eye languages, right? That's thoughts and ideas. The Crown Chakra is inspiration, so you might be getting a lot of multi-dimensional downloads. I mean, if you don't resonate with that, I understand. It's a weird way of saying it. But here's to me what an inspirational spiritual energy download looks like. Because it goes from crown to third eye fast, right? It's like the radar dish is the crown, takes it in, and then it hits the third eye and it starts languaging or clairvoyant, hits the throat chakra, clairaudient, right? Then hits the heart chakra. It can all happen very quickly. But with this card of freedom, remember, you have the spiritual freedom to pray, to meditate, to contemplate, any spiritual practice that works for you, but be open to changing levels, inspirations that might very well change your mind, change your thinking, seeing things from a different perspective. Now, I will just go quickly down to the root. This might be inspired by some of this analysis going on with the guardian angel in the root chakra. So it really is saying that you are being given at least the time and the space in terms of freedom to have these spiritual insights, these inspirations, these downloads, and then you really trying to apply them practically in the root chakra with the guidance and grace of your own higher self, your guardian angel. But you need to live in present time to do that to the best of your ability. With what's going on, fear can take you way into the future, and regret can take you way into the past. So that's why breath is so key. You can only focus on your breath here and now. And you got to breathe anyway, right? Let's look at your 8th chakra. The star center, the upper room, the home of the higher self, the home of the archetypes. Let's see what's going on. Now, like I said, this is your literal level of power. These 4 are your personal level of power. This is the symbolic level of power. And the energy managed here is mystical or divine power, different in my opinion. Lovely. Oh, wow. Then spiritual power. You've got the dreamer and dreams. How's that for synchronicity, signs, and symbols, and guidance? So the card of the dreamer in this deck is the card of the fool, right? It's not the first card in the major arcana. It is the card in between the world, the universe, and the fool. So it is this perfect placement here in the 8th chakra, in between the worlds, in between the old and the new, right? That 0 point where things start all over again with, in this deck it's the witch, but otherwise in the tarot would be the magician. So I'm going to say, and I rarely say that with this card, pay attention to your dreams. Because our nervous systems are being bombarded with so much just from our own 5 senses, let alone spiritually, empathically, clairvoyantly, that there might be things revealed in your dream time. Of course, check your other signs for that, particularly if you have any planets, sun, moon, rising, or Venus, and water signs, particularly Pisces, can have an active dream life that way, regardless of what planet's in it. But to just be aware of it, because there is an indication of the dream of what is to come, right? That this is not the end of the world, it's just the end of the world as we once knew it. A new world is already in place. And since, if you want, you can see these 3 cards in the literal world is the 3rd dimension, physical, right? The physical world. The emotional world here, mental emotional world. The 4th dimension, time, takes time for all of this stuff to heal and come into alignment. Then this is 5th dimensional unity consciousness, saying that there is a new world already in place, but we are transitioning into it. Hence the humanitarian, the oneness. We're all kind of joining together. Yes, of course, there's been some rather toxic behavior from some people on planet Earth as fear possesses them, but that's not who they really are. That's not who we really are. We are all one. And remember, it's called unity consciousness, meaning that we become aware that the idea of separation was never the truth. And without separation, you can't have fear, really. You can't really have crime or violence or murder or dishonesty, because there's just one unified field, which is the truth, always has been, but we were in the illusion, asleep. So this can also speak of a download of your future, right? Not just premonitory, like a premonition, but it can be like the dream of what you came in to do. Like, I dream of doing this, like, and you know what? All of our dreams may be changing radically, but that's part of the divine plan too. So interesting that you've got the guardian angel, which is the higher self, and here in the position of the higher self, the domain of the higher self, if you will, the 8th chakra, the upper room, etc., that you've got the dreamer, the card of the fool, with dreams. And I believe in the Virgo, was it the Virgo or the Libra, they had new beginnings, I think, in this position too. Yeah, inspiration really does look like it's coming in, particularly with that Gemini card with freedom in the crown, that you're really free and open for new ideas and inspiration to come in. Let me get your last 2 cards down, and then I'm going to pop up the picture, and I will do the overview, but not from the root up, but from the 8th chakra down. Cool? Let's get these on the table. The Whispers of Love Oracle. Here we go. Nice deep breath. And what voice of the divine is it? The voice of the higher self collective. Here we go. The higher selves of all involved. Ooh, my heart just started beating in a little bit better way. That was interesting. The higher selves of all involved, please. One card in clarity for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in this chakra check spread for March to April, including April 2020, please. What is the whisper of love for the higher selves for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs, March and April 2020? Have faith. Trust your faith in this situation. Faith is an aspect of consciousness. We all have faith, but what do you have faith in? Faith in things working out, or faith in things going to hell, right? Have faith. Trust your faith in this situation. And I gotta say, with that particular major arcana card, and it is the only major arcana card in this spread, but in the upper room, if you will, the dreamer with dreams, very, very powerful in terms of really envisioning a visionary intuition of the 8th chakra of the new world after all of this. Who knows how radically different it's going to be. I just doubt it's going to go back to being exactly how it used to be. But with that card, have faith. Trust your faith in this situation. For me, my faith is that somehow this is all going to work out, because I had plenty of opportunities to be taken out of this world before now. I mean, I lived through the 80s. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, I'm still HIV negative. So, you know, what a fucking miracle that is, considering how promiscuous I was in the 80s and 90s. But I'm still here. So, you know, I came in to help this planet make its transition from third dimensional illusion of separation into fifth dimensional unity consciousness. Nature's already there. It's just the human consciousness, last thing to come along. And it feels like what we're going through is making that happen. So to have faith that it's not all happening for a reason. It's happening for a divine purpose that we may not understand until we get there, right? Deepak Chopra said, faith is smelling the ocean before you see it, right? Well, I live on Long Island, so, you know, a lot of the beaches, you park in the parking lot and then you go over this dune before you can see the rest of the beach and the ocean. Well, you can smell the ocean before you cross over that dune. So that's a really cool card. That's a good one to have there, have faith. But let's get you a healing mantra card from the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. I'm finding these very helpful for me. Sometimes I'm drawing like one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. Just like, what do I need now, right? And one side is the name of the mantra, the other the mantra itself, and I will use the name of the mantra to look it up in the little bookie book that I love so much. Take a nice deep breath. Let's find out what the Ascended Masters have to say for you. My Ascended Masters, please. One card in clarity. What is the perfect healing mantra for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for March and April 2020, please? What's the perfect healing mantra? Because there's a lot going on here. There's definitely healing within that second chakra with trust and compassion, or at least the space to, that meditation and security in the solar plexus, feeling that. Feels like there could be a lot of healing being needed in the heart with that blessing card with the storm, and in that throat, earthquake with self-acceptance. But it feels like everything's lined up in the upper chakras. It's just bringing it down for them, incarnating it into form. So please, my masters, one card in clarity for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What's the perfect healing mantra for them, March and April 2020? Ooh, a little shadow work, demystifying the darkness. My shadow shows me where my love needs to be sent. And that's within yourself, usually embracing the shadow. I know with this lighting you can't see it, but it is white print on a pastel card. I didn't design them. Yeah, if I did an oracle deck, it would be black so that you can see whatever writing I put on it. So let's do this. Demystifying the darkness. This one doesn't come up that often. But I'm glad it came up for the sign that is ruled by the sun, because I think you'll dig this. Demystifying the darkness. My shadow shows me where my love needs to be sent. When darkness is demystified, the scariest feelings, thoughts, ideas, and beliefs are seen as cries for attention from your most hurt and broken parts. This is about healing and embracing the shadow. Once the darkness is illuminated, you are able to be the light that transforms the dark instead of hiding in the light to avoid moments of darkness. Just as the light can acknowledge how much pain lurks in darkness, it is the power of your unconditional love, the blessing in the heart chakra there, that brings your shadow out of hiding. This mantra is ideal for overcoming fear, hello, where we are, dealing with night terrors, dreams, there you go, night terrors, and transcending the perception of scarcity, because you cannot have a thought of fear without lack or a thought of lack without fear. Course in Miracles. Demystifying the darkness, really neat. Yay, let's embrace the shadow, but you know, if we don't, who will? The shadow's going to keep possessing us individually and collectively. So that's what a lot of us incarnated to do in this life, and that means feeling your feelings, but doing it in a way that is safe, where it does not possess you. Shadow possession is when you do something fucked up and toxic, and afterwards you say, I don't know what came over me. Yeah, read Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now about the pain body, being possessed by the pain body. But before that, let us look at your overview here. Ready? Magic clap. We're going to start in the 8th chakra here with the dreamer and dreams. In that 8th chakra, getting ready to download. Now, if you are having night terrors, which I could understand anyone having nightmares and night terrors, you know, waking up screaming and terrified and all of that, certainly that card Demystifying the Darkness addresses that. But keep in mind, in the Crown Chakra, you've got Gemini with freedom, so you really have the spiritual freedom to interpret and explore this in a way that is for your benefit and your well-being. In the 3rd eye, we've got the slow and steady wins the race of the Capricorn, the card of endurance, right? No one endures quite like a Capricorn does, right? Have healthy boundaries about this, and to follow the signs, perhaps the signs even in your dreams, but not to let them freak you out to the point where you are running wild. And yes, that would make sense that the 5 of Pentacles, then in the throat chakra, you are just shook and you don't know what choices to make because things are changing so fast. Well, the angel card there, Healing with the Angel, says self-acceptance. It's okay. It's okay that you're shook. Everybody is. It's okay if you don't know what your best choices and decisions are right now. Certainly with that Capricorn in the 3rd eye, really saying slow down, follow the signs, but slow down. And of course that would create a storm, an emotional storm of the 5 of Cups in the heart chakra. And yet there are blessings there. Remember that blessings are bringing love, right? They are a transmission of love is divine power, but to bless your own heart, remember you are blessing all hearts. And after a storm, the skies are clear, the grounds are watered. The best thing that we can have sometimes is a good emotional storm, the good cry, the good rage, but in a safe and healthy way that is a blessing to us, so that really the turbulent emotions become a springboard for higher aspects of consciousness, unconditional love, bliss, because we kind of excavate, make more room, hollow ourselves out for more of that divine energy of love to flow through us. Jumping up to that solar plexus card, meditation and security. Like if you are feeling insecure, if you are feeling shook by everything that's going on, really go into your solar plexus, focus there, meditate, contemplate, honor thyself there. Even if it's shaken like a leaf, remember, honor thyself. It's okay. But also get in touch with your honor code. Your honor code is what's going to really keep you secure, so that you will know, like for instance, if part of your honor code is harm none, right, from the Wiccan reader. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, the golden rule. But you will know what your honor code is physiologically, biologically, by paying attention, meditating upon the solar plexus. Because in the second chakra here, remember, you've got this one-on-one relationship. Don't know who it's with. That's going to play itself out across the quantum field of the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, but definitely one that you can trust. So if there is a counselor, if there is a friend, if there is a family member, someone that you can have confidential conversations with in person, perhaps you're sequestered with them, or on the phone, digital media of some kind, that's really going to help you move this stuff through you. Although you might also be turning around and doing that for other people as well, right? It is the right of the healed to heal, right? So we're all in that process. And then, of course, that Two of Blades, the analysis of what's going on, but guided by the guardian angel. I do feel like you are being kept safely so that you can do the work that you came to do in this life and contribute to the transformation and healing of planet Earth, but that you are not just being guided, but guarded by your higher self. So allow your intellectual process to be what it is, but also trust your root chakra, the fight, flight, or freeze, to really guide you in terms of your physical safety. Why? Because your whisper of love from the higher self is have faith. Trust your faith in this situation while you what? Demystify the darkness, realizing the mantra, my shadow shows me where my love needs to be sent. And remember, what we're feeling now individually is holographic. A lot of people are terrified for their lives, terrified for their finances, terrified for all sorts of things, but it is exactly that. I don't think we can run from these fears anymore. They are either going to run us if we run from them, or we are going to embrace them. We are going to demystify the darkness by knowing that the shadow shows us where our love needs to be sent. Well, my Leos, I have to say, a very psychological reading, but certainly you have the mystical spiritual backup for this. May this not hit you all at once. Let it be gentle. Let it be slow. Let it be slow and steady wins the race. Follow the signs, but know that we're all going through this in one way or another, and we may very well need the light of the Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs to alchemize some of this lead to gold, the fear to love, the pain to peace, for the well-being of all. In fact, may the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their energy field, in their chakra systems, to heal, to have faith, to learn, to grow, to find their freedom, to follow the signs, the self-acceptance, the blessings of their hearts, their own internal security, the trust, and the analysis guided by the guardian angel to help them manifest the best lives that they can for their well-being and for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. I know, tricky read, but thank you so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and comment below, right? I want to know your take on this too. As a Leo rising myself, I ain't too proud to take in other people's POVs. That's point of views. Cool, cool. Again, thank you so much for watching. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of the rest of this month of March and all of April as we go through this. Remember, the only way out is through, and we are all in this together. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.